Today, I'm talking to Joleen Cullens. And Joleen is married with 3 children. She's been a licensed massage therapist for 23 years and a practicing doula for 5 years. She also teaches prenatal yoga and belly dancing, and she's an infant massage educator. Joleen, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me, Emily. It's such an honor.
That is such an intriguing background. You have done so many things. Just tell me about your journey. How did you get started? I guess it began with being a massage therapist.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So there's kind of a longer story, but I'll make it kind of short. But yeah, I had been considering being a massage therapist, kind of after, high school, and my dad had went to massage school, and my sister actually went about the same time that I did. She went to a different school, but I actually broke my wrist, and I feel like that was definitely like something that pushed me forward in deciding to go to massage school, because at the time I was cleaning houses and I wasn't able to work anymore. And I actually used to kind of brag about never having a broken bone, and for some reason I thought that was kind of cool, but I actually started to realize that I felt broken kind of in a lot of ways, and that I was looking for a healing experience myself, and I definitely found that. And then it was just a beautiful thing that I just wanted to share, with other people. So
I love that. Looking for a healing experience. Awesome.
Yeah, and then I decided to become a doula I had after I had my last child, and I just knew that it was something I really wanted to do. I had really great birth experiences, and I had, some natural birth experiences, and I really wanted to support moms in having better experiences, because I just always heard so many horror stories, about that, and I really wanted to help dads be more involved as well. And I always like to say it's a parenting experience, not just a mother experience. I really feel like it helps dads kind of embrace that fatherhood role that they play. So I decided to do my training not too far after having my last baby, and then I just kind of got busy with my babies and just didn't feel like I could be on call 24/7, and so I did wait a while. I waited probably, longer than I thought I would, but it was probably a good 10 years, and then I jumped in, and so I've been doing that, the last 5 years or so. But yeah, so it's been such a beautiful thing, and I do love that I have like all these fun things that just kind of connect and kind of work together really well. It's so nice to offer like the infant massage to the couples that I work with, and it's so fun to incorporate like the prenatal yoga, and the belly dancing comes from a place that it originated, where women were actually dancing for each other to kind of help prepare their bodies for labor and delivery. So it's such a cool, it's a great thing for moms to use kind of throughout their pregnancy, and even during labor. It's a great tool, so it's been really fun just to have all these things that just go so well together.
They do. And I like, the name of your business is the Healing Tree Massage, and I love that healing tree. Well, first of all, who wouldn't love the concept of healing? And everything that you do, from the massage therapy, that's a form of healing. I love it. I know I tend to get tight muscles. Massage therapy has saved me so much pain and discomfort and complications.
Makes such a difference, right?
Oh yeah. And then and I had heard that too, that belly dancing originated to aid women for other women enduring labor.
Yeah, totally. That's so great. I love that you've heard that.
Yeah. And it is. Now, I will confess that until just maybe a year or so ago, I had never heard the term doula. So can you take some time to explain what is a doula? What do you do as
Yeah,
a doula?
totally. So the word doula comes from, so I believe that you know, like the Roman breakdown of that is means a woman that serves. And so, and it can be in all different kinds of capacities, but basically my job, so I'm a birth doula and I'm also a postpartum doula. Um, it basically, it's, so I feel like the doulas are kind of filling in the holes that the system has, you know, so really just offering support. And that can be in any different way. Like as a birth doula, there's, you know, the hands-on support, the physical support, there's educational support, there's, you know, also the emotional side of things and the mental side of things. So like an example, I just go in and support with the birth situation, which can be a hospital, home birth, or a birth center birth. I go in and do like massage and pressure points and oils, and I can do hip squeezes and rebozo techniques and spinning baby things to get babies in good positions, and helping, you know, couples work through fears that arise, you know, during a birth experience, or just helping them make hard decisions, you know, helping them feel comfortable in making choices about their, you know, about their birth experience that way. But I don't make any medical choices. Like, so that's like the big difference. I think a lot of people confuse a doula with a midwife. And I don't, it's very different. Actually, some midwives do play the role of a doula, and they're very hands-on and they're very supportive, but I'd have to say majority of them are not. And that's just because they're more trained to be on the medical side of things, or even just on the, you know, the support side of things, where they're just making sure that everything is running smoothly, you know. So so they're making more of the medical choices. Again, I can help educate people, but I'm not making any of those choices, you know. And really it should be the parents, you know, that make the choices. It should really be up to them, you know. Like, and they really say that you know, couples that have a good birth experience is because they felt like they were a part of the choices, you know. They were part of that decision making process, you know.
I totally agree. I totally
Mm-hmm.
agree that, you know, I think that the ideal situation is, like you said, for the parents to choose, especially the mother, to choose the kind of birth she wants, and then be relaxed and calm enough to accept, you know, if something comes up, she can't have it quite the way she wants it.
Mm-hmm.
But would it be accurate to say, as a doula, that in a way you're an advocate? You're advocating. For
Yes.
example, have you been a doula in a hospital where you were able to advocate, help the hospital staff understand what it was that the mother wanted?
Yeah, very much so. And I do love that. I mean, I do feel like it's helpful. Like, it's definitely part of the team. And I feel like doulas have actually came a long way, you know, that way, where they're recognized as being this, you know, supportive, you know, participant, where it's really just helping. Like, everybody should be on the same page though, of wanting the mom to have the best possible experience, right? You know, so really just, but there's times where it's like things will come up and it's like, well, this is in the birth plan, you know, can we at least talk about the benefits and the risks? And, you know, what if they take some time to think about it? Or what if they, you know, decide to do none of those? Like, what, you know, what are the possibilities, you know? And I feel like it's very rare that there's like an actual emergency, you know, that something needs to be done without actually discussing things, you know. So usually
Yeah.
you can see that there's like something that comes up.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually some note, you know, it's like you can kind of see it a little bit beforehand. It's like, okay, this is what we're looking at. We might need to make some choices, but let's talk about it, you know. And it's so nice, you know, for couples to have, you know, for moms and couples to have that opportunity, so they can really feel good about the experience regardless of the outcome, you know.
You know, I feel like we live in a time when we have the best of both worlds. We can, well, in times past, societies relied on experienced women who understood childbirth and could guide the young mother through it. And, you know, natural childbirth was the only option you had.
Right.
And then we kind of moved away to, now it became a medical event and it had to be controlled by the doctor, and there for a while it was considered very normal to deliver children by forceps, and now we have that medical expertise when there's a special circumstance and we need it.
Right.
But now we have these trained, experienced women like doulas who can help the woman who wants. I know when I had my first child, it was very important to me to be completely awake and aware. I did not want to miss a minute of it.
That's
and
awesome.
So,
Yeah, it's so great. I really do feel like we're at a unique time, because I do feel like we kind of went from one extreme to the other, and I think we're kind of finally finding some balance, and it's really a beautiful thing. I do see things shifting that way. I mean, as a doula, I do really find that women are, they contact me and look into my services a little bit more so when they're wanting to do and have a natural birth experience. But, and I can help out with any kind of birth experience for sure. Even if someone's planning to, have a C-section, sometimes it's nice to have that extra support, along the way. But, but women that are really wanting that natural birth experience, I feel like in the hospital is really where they need that support, because they're not really set up to give moms the support that they really need to have a successful experience that way. So like at a home birth or a birth center, they're usually the only ones there, delivering a baby. They get all the attention. It's very different than a hospital.
Yes, and I've heard of and seen circumstances where the mother was going to a clinic. So the doctor she had made all these arrangements with wasn't the one who attended her when she actually went into labor. And quite often, I know with my first hospital birth, and this was back in the 70s, I'm sure things have changed since then, but everything was set up for the convenience of the medical staff.
Right.
It was
right, and it shouldn't be necessarily about them, right? It should be it should be about the mom, and it should be about the dad. Like, it should be this special moment that should totally be catered to them, I feel like. And it's definitely has shifted from that. So I do feel like it's nice because a doula can come in, and I feel like even the nurses are starting to appreciate doulas that way, because they don't have time to do all the things that that they may even want to, but they just don't have the availability to do it. And so it's really nice.
They're probably seeing, 3 or 4 patients at once, whereas you're focused on this one. And I'm thinking too, with your background, you have experience with as a massage therapist. You know how those muscles work. You understand the body.
It's a great combination.
You said the rebozo. Now, I just barely learned about that too, and that's fascinating. Sometimes if the baby's not in that ideal, that best position for birth, the mother will be told, well,
Right. There's they just kind of assume that there's nothing they can do about it, but there's really so many things. And sometimes you try everything and nothing works, but it's totally worth trying, because when it does, it's amazing,
Yes.
And it's so cool. The rebozo can be used in so many different ways, and it's a fantastic tool, and it generally makes a really big difference. So.
And it's basically just a long scarf, right?
Yeah, just a long piece of fabric. Yep.
And it's just knowing how to use it.
Yeah, just knowing how to use it. And it's so cool, So even the spinning babies ideas, it's all about getting babies in a good position too. And it's such, there's just little tricks you can try, whether it's a stretch or, doing kind of a squat, or, they just, there's just a bunch of different things, and that there's so many more things out there than you'd even think would be available, and it makes such a difference. And even the times that it doesn't, I just know that moms feel so much better just being supported through the process, so.
Well, I think just having someone who is calm and caring would be huge.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. Yeah, and then I'm still kind of learning about this whole virtual doula idea.
Oh yeah, and now we're moving to this.
Yeah.
Tell me, how are you envisioning this working? Now you can still help mothers remotely then.
Yes, definitely. I feel like it's not going to be the same, but it's still going to be helpful. And I haven't worked with a client that way as of yet, but I have one coming up soon, and I'm sure that will probably be the case of what we're going to need to do. But just learning from other doulas and stuff, it's been pretty cool to just, find out that still, like, it really makes a difference, So I'm planning on doing like a lower price point for, the virtual doula services, but then still just being on call, giving them all the information,
Well,
you
with
know,
technology,
you
they
know,
can take you with them to the hospital.
exactly, right. I can talk, I can text, I can do a video of some kind with them.
So there's still that calm voice,
Mm-hmm.
that calm, comforting voice, and your experience,
Yeah,
everything in your
yeah.
background, all that you've learned through, you know, belly dancing, massage therapy, and prenatal yoga. It's
Yeah, it's
all there.
fantastic. Yeah, I do really like that massage can be such a big part of it too. I do feel like in the birth space is where a lot of my gifts kind of come together. As a doula, like, the scope of field, they allow some massage, but it's mostly like hands, feet, head, But for me, I'm really unlimited. I can just do so much more, and it's really been fantastic. I do find that a lot of people really, will choose me for that reason, that I can have, more
And
options that way.
and you were mentioning giving dads something to do so they can feel involved.
Yes,
Can you
totally.
somehow instruct him, here's
Right,
something
here,
you could
try
do?
some, yeah, massage, or try some pressure points, or here, do the rebozo. And yeah, it really just helps because they want to help. Generally they do, it's hard for them to watch their woman in pain and not know what to do about it. But then just giving them some things so they actually feel like they're being helpful, just, it goes so far. It's just,
I'm old enough to remember being in a hospital and seeing a room labeled expectant fathers, and remembering there was a time when they were just assigned to the waiting room. They brought their wife to the hospital. The staff sent them
yeah,
off to this waiting room, and
yeah.
they just had to pace the floor and wait until someone came with news of whether it was a boy or a girl. I think that's what a
That's
horrid,
just,
what a horrid way to start a family.
I think so too. I know it's crazy to think that that was a thing back then, right? But it definitely was, and I'm so glad things have changed.
So am I. So am I. It's an opportunity for that family to bond together.
Yes, it definitely is, and it's such a beautiful thing. I do feel like it's such a yes, it's such a growing experience for everybody. I really feel like that's one of my big beliefs around birth, is that there is such an opportunity for healing. I do feel like a lot of times people have just so much of their emotional stuff exposed in that experience. Your fears come up, all the things, right? And it's
Yes.
such a great time to let some of that go, and it can be so powerful for everybody. I just feel like it's such an amazing growth. I mean, even looking at my birth experiences, I could really see the progress that I had made, like, internally, by just working on my emotional issues and whatever, but I could see with each birth experience that I had really progressed. And by the last one, my whole labor lasted about 2 hours. I planned on being at the hospital, so I barely made it to the hospital, to push the baby out. But it was so amazing. It was so nice to really, like, have that validation, to feel like, wow, the work that I've been doing really helped me trust my body and trust the process. And super fantastic.
I love the trusting your body, trusting the process. I told you I had just recently completed a hypnobirthing class. I'm so excited to complete the certification and get started as a hypnobirthing educator. But we we work with doulas very closely because you're
Mhm.
the, I that education, that preparation, giving dad something to do,
Mhm.
teaching the woman to trust her body, trust the process. It's beautiful. It
It
is
really is. I
absolutely
know. I
wonderful.
love that you're doing that now. I feel like it's such a great fit, and it is such a great combination with the doula, so then it's like a lot of that education, then but and then having the doula there too, like, it's just so powerful. I feel like it's such a great experience to kind of make a big deal about, you know. I feel like
Yeah,
a lot of people
yeah.
are like, oh, that's kind of expensive or whatever, but it's like when you look at the big picture, it's like this is going to be a big impactful memory for you your entire life.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
you will
it's a
remember
worthy
this.
investment, right?
Yeah, and the new member of the family,
Mm-hmm.
it really is. And to me, I see it as a way of bonding families. They can start bonding with that baby as soon as they know they're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
working through the subconscious, mothers, can communicate with that
So true.
baby. And anyway,
I love that. I
so,
love that. That's so cool. I love that you have that information to teach the moms and the dads, you know, that this is something that's available.
and release fears. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me again, now you have the Healing Tree Massage, which is based in Utah. So anyone who wants that hands-on in the Utah area, tell me the city, is it
I'm in Clearfield.
Clearfield? You're in
Yes.
Clearfield, but now with technology,
Yep.
you can
Pretty
work
unlimited,
remotely
right?
anywhere with your background and experience for any, especially a first-time mom. I want to tell you a story. My mother, when she had children back during that era when they didn't even use the word pregnant,
Right.
they said expecting or in a family way.
Uh-huh.
And her mother had passed away when she was 15. So she just had an older sister. That was the only person she could talk to. And
Mm-hmm.
she called her older sister and said, just tell me what to expect. I have no idea what is childbirth like. And the only thing her sister would say was, you will pray to die. And that was the sum total of childbirth preparation my mother had for
Oh
her
my
first
gosh.
child. And
That's
that, to me,
intense.
that is heartbreaking when she told me that
That
story.
is. That
I
is
just
really.
wept for her.
Oh, it
And
is. It's sad because I don't, you know, even when you think of like the intensity of it, I do feel like honestly for even myself, I feel like it really helped prep me for motherhood,
yes,
you know, and I
yes,
really felt empowered. Like if I could do that, I could really do anything, you
yes.
know?
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
And how do
Yeah,
you feel?
there's so much growth. There's so much
Yeah.
potential. There
Yeah.
really is.
Awesome. So what's the best way for people to contact you?
So I have another thing I'd like to share before we go into that. So I
Oh,
actually did
yes.
recently finish a bereavement doula study with Stillbirth Day. And it's, you know, so it is really so I have the capacity to support, you know, moms and couples in any birth outcome, which has been really interesting, which I've been really excited to, you know, have that be an option because, I mean, it's one of those things, you know, going into it that things happen sometimes, you know. So I was really excited about that. And then just a couple of things I really love about being a doula is I do love working with moms like throughout their pregnancy, do with massage or yoga or dancing or whatever, and then be there for the birth because then they already have such a rapport built with me. And it's just such a beautiful thing. And then I really love, I love the special moments that I see between a couple when I get to, you know, when I actually get to be there and support during a birth. It's just so magical. There's just so much love and it's so beautiful. And I feel so honored, you know, to be invited into that space and be a part of it. So it's really cool.
And I love that you're doing that
Thank
because
you.
there isn't that much, when the couple, after they go through the 9 months and they have the baby and there's all this attention, but if something happens and they don't leave the hospital with
Mm-hmm.
a baby, people don't know what to say. And it's just
Yeah,
like all of a
right.
sudden, no one's talking to them.
Yeah, right. It's like
Oh,
everybody just totally leaves them alone because no one knows how to handle it. And it's so hard because they need that support. They need people. They need someone that's willing to talk to them about it so they can really work through that and have that opportunity to eat, you know, meet the baby, say hello and say goodbye. You know, it's a big part of the process regardless. I mean, kind of back in the day too, they'd kind of brush it aside and be like, you don't even need to see the baby. But that doesn't really allow for them to meet the baby. They have to meet the baby to say goodbye to the baby, you
yes,
know? So
yes.
there's just so many little things that can be so helpful and it can be an overwhelming time. you know,
That
so
would
it's
be
really
good to
great to
know
have that
that.
support for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, that
it's
is
been
a
good.
beautiful new dimension you're adding to all of your other services.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So how do people contact you?
Okay, so you can find me on Facebook. So my whole business name is kind of long, but the Healing Tree Massage, Bodywork, and Doula Services. So you can find me on Facebook. You can also, my website is www.thehealingtreemassage.com. So that's another way to find out more information, yeah, about all the things. So yeah, those are the two probably best ways to contact me.
And I can see you as a valuable resource for, well, whether it's the first baby or not. I
Yeah,
think.
for sure. Totally. I know I do feel like there's like a couple of different reasons people kind of seek out a doula, and sometimes it's like that first experience was a pretty bad one and then
Yeah.
they want something different, or they're just starting out and they want the first one to be a really good
Yes.
experience, you know. So yeah, it's cool. It's interesting to see with everything that's going on right now. There's definitely a big push for like people considering, you know, home birth and birth centers more so than they would have probably thought otherwise. People that wouldn't have considered those options are considering them
Yeah.
now, you know.
Suddenly the hospital isn't the safe place we thought it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it's interesting how that changed so quickly. It definitely did. So it'll be interesting to see how this all, you know, kind of pans out in the end. But
And
yeah,
the message I want to get out is that when you have a healthy mother and a healthy baby, a home birth or a birthing center are safe options.
yes, they're
It
great
isn't,
options. They really are. For a low risk mom, it's definitely worth trying, you know. So I believe in those moments. We can definitely do it. So cool.
yeah. And you
Oh,
know it works because you've
yep.
been there, you
I've
know.
done it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Me
nice.
too. All right. Well, Jolene, thank you so much. And good to know that you're out there and available, ready to help parents. So,
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It was so nice chatting with you today.
all right. You have a great day.
I will. You too.